Tell us a little bit about CryptoDad. Give us a high-level view.
I wrote the book to kind of get across just ordinary people. You know, when you write a book, the first thing you have to decide is, who are you writing for? And my editor said to me, are you writing for people inside the Beltway? Are you writing for people outside? Who are you writing for? And at the end of the day, I'm writing for my neighbors. I'm writing for my friends. I'm writing for everyday people. I'm writing for cashiers in supermarkets. I'm writing for the dentist down the road. I'm writing to tell people that the money we use every day, day in and day out, is changing right before our eyes. The next decade is going to see so much change in financial services and, more importantly, in money itself than we've seen in changes in money in a century or certainly several generations or more. And that money is becoming decentralized, it's becoming tokenized, it's becoming borderless, and it's becoming digital. And we're really in a battle right now for what values is that money going to carry with it? Is it going to carry the values that we've accustomed to in our democracies? Values of the rule of law, values of economic independence and economic privacy? Or will it carry other values like government surveillance or commercial exploitation? And more importantly, the ability to censor our use of that money. So that's the fight for the future of money that I talk about in my book. And I've written this for everybody to understand that this change is coming and the time to speak up and make sure that the right values, the social norms that we expect in a democracy, are imprinted in that digital money that's coming very, very soon.
So you talk about the subtitle of your book, CryptoDad, is The Fight for the Future of Money. You're looking at this whole thing, but it's a multifaceted battle, isn't it? I mean, from the China angle, the US angle, and how this goes around the world.
It's a multifaceted battle. The players are central banks, central governments, the private sector, including big tech, big banking, the big banks and the legacy infrastructure that have some vested interest in the old world, but also see the opportunity of the new world. The players are underbanked population, under-ID'd population that have been excluded from the old system because the old system requires identity in every case. And anywhere between 1 billion to 2 billion of the 8 billion people on this planet don't have sufficient identity to participate in that case. And the other player in this, the player that I'm hoping to reach with my book, is the broad middle of our free market economy, of our free society, the people who rely on a degree of economic independence, of economic privacy, that have enjoyed that in the money of our democratic systems for a long time, and to say to them, folks, you've got to engage. You cannot take for granted that the privacy you enjoy in a fiat money system will be the privacy you'll enjoy in a digital monetary system of the future. We've got to insist that those values that got us here are the values that our children are going to enjoy when their money is digital. And so there's so many groups, there's so many blocks involved in what this fight is shaping up are, but it's happening now. Message to folks, understand that fight and engage in that fight. And I wrote my book for you to understand we cannot take anything for granted, certainly not our economic privacy in the future.
Looking at the book itself, tell me, what's the part of it that you're most excited about or most proud of in terms of the CryptoDad?
Well, as I said, the decision to greenlight Bitcoin futures was one that we knew would have long-term ramifications. And there was a fair amount of subtle pressure to delay it or defer it or avoid it. There was political risk in making that decision. And yet in making the decision to trust market, be the value, that to establish the value of this new innovation and not to assert ourselves as unelected bureaucrats to put a value on this, but to leave it to markets, took political courage. It hazarded political risk. But in so doing, it actually decreased regulatory risk for the marketplace. It allowed a market to evolve and develop. And that market has now been going for 4 years. And during that period of time, people have looked to the CFTC for regulatory clarity, for regulatory intelligence, what I call market intelligence in the book. And so sometime public figures and regulators need to take political risk in order to de-risk markets and enterprise. And I think that is perhaps the moment that I'm most proud of. And I look at the Bitcoin ecosystem today, I look at the crypto ecosystem today, its maturity level, the ecosystem that has evolved of execution, of market making, of professional money investment, of insurance engagement, of portfolio management. You see a rapidly maturing ecosystem, and that would not have happened had we not had the political courage to greenlight Bitcoin futures back in 2017. So sometimes when leaders are willing to brave the political risk in order to de-risk an environment, healthy economic activity results as part of that. So if I'm proud of something, I'm proud of that. And I go into great detail in the book to explain the pressures on us that hinder that innovation and why we stood tall and went forward with it. And something I think has contributed directly to the success of crypto and eventually to central banks and governments recognizing the success of this innovation and now looking to develop their own avenues of crypto.